So, first thing we're going to do, lay out on the ground. We're going to do some nice breathing exercises. So walk your feet in real close to your hips. Let your hands relax by your side, preferably palms up if you can comfortably be in that position. And then we're going to focus on taking nice deep breaths. Inhale into the belly, and then fill into the chest, and then out the chest, and then out the belly. So big inhales, and big exhales. You do not have to move your arms. That's just kind of cueing. Trying to really work on emptying your lungs, getting out all that carbon dioxide. Taking real big inhales. I'm going to do 2 more. Okay, nice. Call that good anyways. Next up is going to be wishbone kick. So bring your feet up to a 90-degree position. Keep weight on your pelvis. Your knees are right up. And you're going to bring your feet apart, keeping your toes pointed up to the ceiling. Exhale, extend. Inhale down. Exhale, inhale. If you feel any cramping in the top outside edge of your hip, just back your feet off. So bring them back together. Wait for the cramping to kind of go down and then move out, but not quite as far. This position is often very tight. You're firing up muscles that don't normally get hit. So frequently they get overactive. I'm gonna go 1 more on each leg. Nice, and then let that down. Walk your feet out as wide as you comfortably can. And I'm gonna drop both knees down to one side. Pause briefly, take a big breath. Exhale, back up. Breath, and exhale down. While you're doing this, you're trying to keep your hips close to the ground, so you don't want to let one side shut up a bunch. Trying to keep it low, feeling that rotation through your femur, your thighs. Letting that relax, feeling stretch the top of your hip, maybe in the groin on the down leg. Go 1 more. A nice stretch in. And back up. Nice. Bring your feet back to a hip width distance. And we're going to do some pelvic rocks. So you're going to think about taking your pelvis and tipping it away so you create space with your low back. Take a big inhale. And then exhale, tip it back until you get contact with the ground, and then tighten down with your abs. Helps if you do a deep exhale. Big inhale, open. Big exhale. Feel your low back moving, tightening up the muscles, and tightening your abs. 1 more. Nice. And next up, we're going to go do some pullovers. So reach your hands up as high as you can. Lock down the abs real good. And you're going to bring your hands backwards. And then exhale. Bring them back up. Inhale down. And exhale. Make sure you're holding the abdominal muscles engaged. Keeping the low back on the ground. Feel that stretch in your armpit. Don't force yourself to get to the ground. Just go down as far as you can while not getting too intense of a stretch. Nice big exhales. We'll go 1 more. Nice. Go ahead. Rock over to one hip and come up. And then we're going to get into tabletop position. Actually, we'll do some wrist warm up first. So get yourself in a comfortable seated position, either on your toes or on the backs of your feet. Either way works fine. And we're just going to do some gentle wrist rotations here. So just circling over your hands, keeping all your fingers engaged down, trying to really warm up the wrist musculature. Continue with that nice calm breathing pattern, working on big inhales and exhales. And then we'll go ahead and reverse direction. Again, make sure you're engaging downwards into the ground with your fingertips and with your palm. Nice. Now we're going to do on the backs of your hands, like this. And then you're going to rock up onto the knuckles, back of the hand, back of the hand. Knuckles, knuckles, back of the hand, back of the hand. So go back and forth with this. Trying to really use the outside edge of your forearms. So you're squeezing, feeling the muscles there. This is usually a pretty intensive exercise, so make sure you're really close to the knees and you're not putting too much weight on your hands. So you want to make sure you're using the muscles, but you're not putting too much stress on them. Let's do a few more rounds of that. This will be the last one. And there we go, nice. Go ahead, shake the wrists out if you need to. Now we're gonna get into a tabletop position and do some cat-cows. So get your abs nice and engaged. You're gonna take a deep breath in. And then exhale, you're gonna push your chest up, shoving your hands into the ground, tuck your head down. And then big inhale, bring your chest low and then forwards and look up. And then exhale, chest down, or I guess chest up, but you're pushing your hands on the ground. And then chest towards the ground and forwards, trying to keep your elbows extended. Nice big exhale. Inhale down. Go one more. And then go and get yourself back to neutral. Shake that out a little bit. What we're going to do here is some fire hydrants. So lock in your abs, get that slight curvature to your low back, shift your weight over towards one leg slightly. And you're going to move that leg out, and then back in, and then out. Nice big exhale as you move, and then inhale, exhale, inhale. So one more. Okay, and then put that down, shift weight onto the other knee, and then you're going to move with your other leg. Same breathing pattern, nice big exhale and inhale. And one more. Nice. Okay. Gonna go and get onto the toes if you can. Again, if you need to, you can go onto the backs of the feet, but try and be on your toes. We're gonna do some hero squats here. So keeping your torso nice and upright, try and think about stacked over your pelvis. You're gonna squeeze your glutes and drive your hips up, showing the straight line over your knees. And then come back down again, keeping a nice line. So focusing on squeezing the glutes, keeping your core engaged. If you're feeling comfortable with this, you can throw in some arm movements. So as you come up, you can open, and you'll come down. I'm gonna do a few more of these. Okay, there we go, nice. Go back to the tabletop, and we're going to do some lizard lunging. So you're going to step one foot out, bring the other foot right up here. Now, if you can't comfortably get to this position, it's totally all right to brace onto your knee. You want to make sure that you can maintain a fairly straight line through your back. What we're going to do here is you're going to post up, and you're going to reach that inside hand up towards the ceiling, and then down. So it's exhale as you twist, inhale down. Now, if you're having to do this up on your knee, so you post with that opposite arm, and then rotate. This requires a little bit more balance, but you'll be able to get a really nice engagement in the glutes. And there we go. So we'll come back to the ground and switch legs. Again, totally fine. You need to come up here. Just make sure that you can maintain that fairly straight line. You want to be feeling a nice stretch in your hip flexor and the hamstring on your up leg. You're feeling that engagement in your upper back as you rotate. Okay, step it back, let your knees come down, and then we're going to go ahead and stand on up. First thing we're going to do in a standing position, some Spreadflow Glides. So get yourself out to a comfortable spread foot position, push your hips backwards, let your arms dangle. So you want to feel some hamstring stretch here. You're going to bend one knee, shift towards that side, take a big breath, and exhale. Try and move yourself straight over, keeping your body square to your hips, and trying to move on a single line. Make sure you're pushing your feet out to the sides to maintain your arches. And you're feeling that hamstring and groin stretch. So groin stretch here, a little bit of the hamstring. The more you push your hips backwards, the more you're going to feel this, but you don't want it to be too excessive. You want to just feel that tension while you're moving. So one more. Gently come up, gently walk the feet in. Next up is going to be stork walks. So you're going to take your hands, put them together so they're like 90 degrees. And you're going to exhale, bring that knee up, open your hands. Inhale down, and then exhale. Try and keep your torso nice and vertical. You're going to squeeze your glutes, squeeze your abs. Back and forth with that, and that nice engagement in your abs, trying to bring your knee up real high without letting your low back round backwards. Getting that balance working. And one more. Nice. Next up, we're going to do some reverse pullover. So interlace your fingers behind you, up nice and tall. And you're going to move your hands back. Feeling a stretch in the chest, pinching your shoulder blades together real good. Nice big exhale as you move the hands backwards. Goal is not necessarily to go for up, it's to go reaching backwards as far as you can. Then letting your hands travel upwards to try to continue to get that distance backwards. One more. Nice. And last up, we're going to do some alternating arm circles. So it's going to be a little bit of a coordination challenge. So try and be really focused on how you're moving. Lock in the abs, little knee bend, glutes are engaged, and then you're going to be circling in alternating patterns. So one arm crosses, and the other arm crosses. And you want to think about trying to match your arms at the different points while you're doing the circling. Just keep yourself relaxed, keep that breathing calm, and you should feel a lot of work in your shoulders, your abs, your glutes. It's nice calm circling. Make sure you're continuing your breathing patterns. Do a few more rotations. And now we're going to pause at the bottom and reverse the direction. So now you're going to be going upwards from the bottom. Again, doing that nice alternating pattern, trying to match your arms in the circling. And really keeping your hands extended as far away from you as you can. A nice calm breathing pattern. Still keeping the knees bent, glutes engaged. Do a few more rotations. Should be getting some nice shoulder burn about now. And there we go. Nice, go ahead and shake that out a little bit. And we're gonna do a minute of cardio movements of your choice. So, where's my 1 minute timer? Okay. So, jumping jacks, high knees, butt kickers, running in place, whatever you want to do that gets you moving quickly, but comfortably. And we're going to do that for a minute, try and get the heart rate elevated. So, we'll get started in 3, 2, and let's go. I'm going to do jumping jacks, right? Like I said, if you want to do high knees, you want to jog in place, you want to do burpees, or whatever you want to do. In fact, I'll go ahead and I'll transition every 15 seconds. So high knees, every 15 seconds. Right, try and think about being light on your feet, keeping yourself tall, abs engaged, don't squeeze them too hard. And then jogging, actually I'll just do butt kickers. It's very similar to jogging in place, but get a little bit more of that hip to heel to hip. You do not have to transition like this. I'm just doing that to show alternations. And then burpees. These are really simple, easy to do. Well, shouldn't say easy to do. Less difficult burpees than some of the other transitions. And there we go. Minute done. Your heart rate should be pretty elevated. No, mine is. So we're going to take a little breather, let that heart rate calm slightly, and then we'll get started with round 1. So we're going to be doing 6-minute rounds, with a little bit of a rest period in between them, and I will be demoing the exercises during that rest period. I think I need to tip my camera up slightly. There we go. Okay, so the first exercise of round 1 is going to be 2 down, 1 up squats. So you're going to come down on both legs, transition to one leg, and stand up. Down, transition, and stand. So sink down, transition over, so you take that foot off, bring yourself up. If you want to, you can try doing down on one, transition over, up on the other. And this is a way to make this more difficult. It's kind of like doing single leg squats, except you have that shifting at the bottom. Next up is leg drops. So you're on the ground, abs are engaged. You're going to bring your knees to your chest, only as far as you can keep your pelvis on the ground, right? You don't want to tuck in so this comes off. So if you find that this is difficult because you're tight and you only come into here, that's totally fine. So from this position, what you're going to do is lock in the abs real good and then slowly lower your legs to the ground, trying to not let your torso positioning change. All right, so you should be holding in the abs real strongly, slowly lowering the legs down, and then bringing them back up. If you find that to be a little bit too easy, you can play around with your arm positioning, because that requires you to put more force to the top of your abs to keep your ribs nice and set. Right, hardest is up here. We're really focusing on maintaining that tight core musculature, pulling inwards. The last one we're doing for this round is bend over external rotations. So you're gonna push your hips backwards, with that nice hamstring stretch, and lock in the abs real good. You're gonna bring your arms up, so you get this double 90 position, and then rotate so your arms are parallel to the ground. Or slightly past parallel, if you can get that range of motion. You want to really feel that in the upper back, in the shoulder blades, getting that twisting motion, trying to really work on that. If you find that this is too difficult, you can go here and pin your elbows to your ribs, lift the hands outwards that way. So those are the 3 exercises. We're going to be going through them, probably get about 2 rounds done. 10 to 12 of the squats, approximately. Now I forgot how many numbers I wrote down. Yeah. 10 to 12 of the leg drops, and 10 to 16 of the bent over external rotations. Okay, here we go. Get started in 3, 2, and let's go. 2 down, shift, and stand. Now remember, if you want to, you can try doing 1 down, shift, 1 up. Whichever method you're doing, you want to think about keeping your knees kind of slightly wide so you don't let your knees cave inwards. Go back to these ones. And then back to these. All right, I'm just going to transition through different progressions while I'm doing this so that whatever you're working on, you can kind of visually see what it's supposed to look like. And yeah, I think that's the right number. Not great about counting reps. And that's kind of something I should work on. But anyways, leg drops. So tuck it and let your legs come down slowly. And then keep the abs engaged. Trying to not have your torso shift. And again, you can make this harder by moving your hands further upwards. Puts more stress on the upper abs. Nice big exhale. Actually, you can breathe in either orientation. If you want to exhale, as you bring your knees up, inhale out, you can. You just want to make sure you're maintaining a consistent pattern. Go 1 more. And then the external rotations. So, hips backwards, lock in the abs, arms up. Get that nice big exhale as you twist. Inhale down, feeling that hamstring stretch, keeping your back safe so you can squeeze with the glutes. Really feeling the shoulder blades, holding that pinch together. Nice. And back to the squats. 2 down, 1 up. Nice big exhale as you come up, inhale down. You want to try and think about keeping yourself fairly centered so you're not shifting over really far, too far if you fall over. Right? It's about trying to maintain balance while you're doing this. You want to make it harder, you can try sinking lower, and also the one-legged version, as I'm demonstrating now. There we go. And the leg drops. Back to the ground, tightening in with the abs, getting your arms in position when you find appropriate amount of difficulty. Trying to really work on keeping that core engaged, pulling your belly button down to your spine. Trying to activate your deeper abdominal muscles. One more. On the external rotation, you do not have to get up like that. Just makes it a little faster. Again, pushing the hips backwards while you're doing this. Keeping your head from drifting down towards the ground, right? You want to be here. Keep it nice and neutral. Nice. Let's see how much time we got. Should be enough. Yeah, we got a minute left. We'll do some more of the squats. So lock in, sink it down, transition, stand. Finding the glutes, keeping them engaged, keeping your abs engaged while you're doing this. Okay, we'll get to the leg drops. Cool. Down to the ground, locking the abs. Oh, except the timing was slightly off there. Okay. Now we're going to take a break for a little bit. Grab some water if you have it. I advise taking a little drink here. Try and keep yourself moving during this rest period. Give you about 2 minutes. So just walking around, stretching things out, moving. After about a minute, I'll go ahead and demo round 2, the movements for that. Just adjusting my mat here. All right, active rest. So you don't want to completely stop and be sedentary after a little workout like that. And your blood can cool and it doesn't circulate to the muscles that need it. So it's good to just kind of keep gently moving. I like to kind of stretch out the regions that have just worked. So you can do some little arches with the shoulders involved. Okay, now I'm going to demo round 2. Okay, so the first one is going to be side leg lifts. So you're going to stand up nice and tall, abs engaged, give a little bit of a knee bend to, it's going to be called your post leg because you're going to be standing on that one. And push your hips forward slightly if you feel that glute engagement here. And then you're going to move the leg out to the side. Trying to let your arms relax. And really moving, getting that squeeze in that top back edge of your hip. Trying to keep your core engaged. And you want to prevent yourself from tipping with your pelvis. The goal here is to move the leg, keep the pelvis pretty stationary. And same thing, we're going to just do both legs. That little knee bend on the post leg. Keep your arms as relaxed as you can while maintaining your balance. Right, just moving that out. Again, this is for distance, not for height. Just like you did these ones. Next up is the hollow flutter. So you're going to come onto the ground. Head's engaged, your whole spine all the way down to your pelvis. You're going to take your hands, kind of brace them down by your hips, and then extend your legs up. Now, what you're going to do to find your difficulty point for this is keep the back on the ground and just let the legs lower until you find that you can't easily keep your low back on the ground. Wherever that is, come up a couple inches from there. That's going to be your working point. So you're going to point the toes, and you're going to flutter. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So you're counting on one leg, up, down. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to go 15 to 20 on those ones. For the side leg lifts, it's 8 to 12 per. Last one is half push-ups with a pause. So you're going to get into a plank position. Now, if you can't hold a plank position comfortably, you can go on your knees. You just want to make sure you're maintaining that straight line, shoulders to hips. Preferably try this on your hands, see if you can get it. So we're going to come down into a half push-up and pause. And then if you can press up, press up. If you can't press up, drop the knees, shift, get back into your plank. Half, and then again, knees and shift, otherwise half and up. 8 to 12 of those, and that is the circuit for round 2. Leg lifts, hollow flutter, and the push-ups. Yes. I set all the numbers, so should be good on that. All right, same thing as round 1, 6 minutes on the clock. In 3, 2, and let's go. Abs engaged, little knee bend. So really trying to feel that squeeze, that top edge of your moving leg, pushing this hip forwards. Nice breathing. Exhale as you lift or extend out to the side. A little bit better phrasing. Right, you're trying to reach that leg that way. And switch legs. Little knee bend, squeeze. Try to keep yourself nice and upright. Maintain your balance. Remember which leg you started with, because we're going to switch that on the next one. And then to the hollow flutters. Locking the abs. Find that point, which for me is down here again. Don't have to match me. And then you're just breathing and doing the flutters. All right, if you're up here, totally fine. Just make sure you can keep the low back on the ground. You can want to, you can try doing this. You come up and down so it gets harder, and then you come back up, or you can just sit at a point and do it there. And that's 20. And then do the half push-ups with the pause. Again, totally all right if you want to be on your knees and do it like this, or if you even need to do like this. All right, those are both fine progressions. I'll do the progression for this too. All right, all of those fine if you want to work at what you can do comfortably, but make sure you're getting that pause at that halfway point. Big inhale, big exhale. Nice. Okay, side leg lifts. Which leg you started with. I'm going to start on my right this time. Again, relaxing the arms, keeping yourself nice and tall. Abs are engaged, your glutes pushed forwards. Keeping that knee bent on the post leg. Once you hit about 8 to 12 range, switch legs. Keeping yourself nice and tall. Again, holding in the abs. So that'll keep you back from curving as you come up. Nice calm breathing. Nice, and back to the hollow flutters. Again, hands out by your side, palms down. Get the legs up and find that point, and then flutter. Just try and breathe while you're doing this. You don't want to hold your breath. And there we go. Whew. And then back to the half push-ups. We're gonna run through the progressions real quick. So on the knees, halfway, and then sink back, come back up, halfway, and then push. Full plank, halfway, sink to the knees, transition back, and then the full version. If you find this to be a little bit too easy, which would be surprising, you can go all the way down and pause, and then all the way back up. So you want to pause long enough to say pause mentally. There we go, and back to the side leg lifts. Stop nice and tall, all the things. Again, switching which leg you start with. That just helps keep the fatigue balanced. And then switch over to your other leg once you hit that 8 to 12 range. And it's about trying to keep your balance, keep yourself calm, relax the arms if you can. Cool, getting to the flutters again. Oh, to the ground. Oh, twice now. Timing is a little off on that one. Okay, about a 2-minute rest period again. Just like last time, after about a minute, I'll go through demo round 3. Again, try to keep it off moving. If you want to, you can do some like crossover stepping. Stretch out the glutes that we just hit from the side leg lifts. You don't have to do this. Like I said, I like to use my rest periods to kind of unwind those areas that I just hit. Try and focus on your breathing. Nice big inhales, big exhales, really emphasizing getting that air out. That'll help release the CO2 that you just built up. Allow your body to be more efficient for round 3. Okay. Yeah, cool. And I'm going to go ahead and demo round 3. Yes. Okay. So the first one we're going to be doing is one-legged shoulder bridges. So you're going to come down to the ground, get your feet hip distance apart this way. So hip distance. And try to really set your core. So abs are tight, glutes are tight. And you're going to be doing single leg shoulder bridge. So you're going to have one leg hovering off the ground, and you're going to press up, trying to get that straight line to your knee, and then control it down and up. Right? If you find this to be a little bit too easy with the one leg, you can extend the leg forwards like this, or you can extend it upwards like so. But again, make sure you're getting that nice strong glute squeeze, holding the abs. If you find that to be a little bit too difficult, what you can do is two-legged bridge, and then try and do step-offs. Right, just like this. So you're still working that single leg bridge motion, but it's a little bit easier. If you're doing a single leg version, you're going to try and hit 8 to 12 per side. If you're doing both, you want to try and hit 16 to 20. Next up is plank limb cycle. So we're going to hop into a plank like this. If you want to come down to an elbow plank, that's totally fine. If that's easier on your wrists, you can. Or you can go to a knuckle plank in whatever progression you need to do for your own body. So you're going to set up here in this nice plank, right? Abs are squeezed, glutes are squeezed. And then you're going to move one leg up and the other leg up. Right? This is the first progression. So if you find this to be difficult, just go ahead and do these ones, 10 to 16. If these are a little easy, move your leg out to the side. Try not to kick things. Right? That's a little bit easy. You can move your arms, right? Like so. You can move your arms out to the side, or you can do 2 sets. Right? A lot of progressions. Just how many limbs you get off the ground. If you're moving them forwards, out to the side, or just straight off. 10 to 16, counting each leg movement that you do. And last one is lat claps. So nice standing position. You're gonna have your arms in like a 45-degree forwards. You're gonna get up nice and high, and then smack your thighs. So you don't have to smack them with a lot of force. You can just come down and touch. But the point is to accelerate from that high position, trying to really think about driving your shoulder and arms down. Right? Again, you do not have to smack your thighs real hard. You can just power it and then try and stop, or just lightly touch. But the goal is to try and use your lats to really fire that downward motion. We're going to be doing 10 to 16 of those. Don't worry about popping up super fast. Just calmly go up and then squeeze down. Okay, and we're going to go ahead, get started with round 3. 6 minutes on the clock in 3, 2, and shoulder bridge. Yes, I totally forgot what the first one was. There we go. Single leg shoulder bridge. I'll start with the first progression. So if you can't do the two, you just come up with 2 legs, step off, control it down. Up, step off, down. You can comfortably go on the singles. First one is just hovering that foot so it matches. Right? You can extend. Or you can go try and point your foot up to the ceiling. Really getting that strong glute squeeze. Pushing your foot forward so you get your quad nice and active. And then switching legs. Locking in the abs. Making sure you're really feeling that in your glutes, not in the hamstring, not in the low back. If you're feeling that in the hamstring, push your foot further forwards. If you're feeling that in the low back, try and tighten your abs more. Nice. Next up is the plank limb cycles. So get yourself in that plank, elbow, forearm, knuckles, whatever you need to do, and then go for the leg movements, right? This is the first progression. Second progression's out to the side, right? Then arms straight up, then arms forward, then arms out to the side. If you want to, you can try 2 limbs at a time, or you can go cycles, right? But the goal is just move the limb off. Try to not shift your hips too much. There we go. And then the lat claps. So up nice and tall, little knee bend, abs engaged. Nice big, powerful exhale. 10, 15 of those. Really want to feel that in your lats, that back side of your rib cage. And then to the ground for the single leg shoulder bridges. Make sure you're switching your start leg if you are doing the single leg variant. Right, so locking in the abs, squeezing the glutes, pushing that foot forwards. Right, if you want to extend the leg forwards, you can. That extra difficulty, if you want to extend up, you can. There we go. 8 to 12. If you're doing both legs, just try and go 16 to 20. There we go. And then to the planks. So get in that nice plank position and then moving your limbs. Again, trying to control so you're not moving yourself laterally very much. And you're keeping weight evenly distributed on the remaining 3 body parts. There we go. 10 to 16, 12 to 16 really, doing that one. Locking the abs, lat claps. Big exhales, really driving your hands down quickly. There we go. And back to single leg bridges. Locking in the abs, keeping that tension there, squeezing the glutes, and pressing the hips up high. And whatever progression you want to work on for this, you can even do what I'm doing where you transition through. I just like to show all the options. All right, this is 2-legged variant if you're struggling with the single leg version, or if your hips are tired at this point, which they totally could be. You want to still make sure you're able to hold in the glutes and the abs, not feeling this in your hamstrings or your low back. Oh, we're gonna get to the plank. Nice. Oh, again, just off. Nice. Okay, so those are the 3 rounds done. We're gonna cool down for a little bit, active rest for a little bit, and then we will do a short little cool down. And remember, focus on taking nice deep breaths during this rest period. Nice big inhales, big exhales. Unwinding points that you hit. In this case, it would be glutes a little bit, so I'm going to do some hip hinging, stretch them out. Taking on about 10 seconds or so. Let the heart rate calm down just a little bit more. Okay, so time for the cool down. So first thing we're going to do is a nice quad stretch. You're going to post up on a wall. I'll post up on this wall. Little knee bend. Abs are engaged. You're going to reach. Oh, I was right the first time. You're going to reach back and grab on your foot, and then flex your foot downwards. So you're engaged through your foot. And then the goal is to lock in the glutes and move your knee backwards while you pull your heel to your hips, right? Keeping the left leg or right leg, whichever one you have down, bent slightly, and feeling that hip flexion all the way down to your knee. So we're going to sit in that position with a feeling of tension, not a super intense stretch, just a feeling of tension, and calmly breathe. About 30 seconds. Make sure you're trying to really bring that knee backwards. You're squeezing the glutes. And then go ahead and gently bring the knee forwards, let off on the foot, switch sides. Up nice and tall, little knee bend. Grab the foot, flex it downwards, and then move the leg back. Nice calm breathing. Locking in the abs, locking with the glute on that side, so really push your hips forward to get that nice hip flexor stretch. And then go ahead, let that release, bring it forwards, let that come down nice. And then we're going to transition to the ground. And we're going to do a bit of a piriformis stretch. So we're going to sit up nice and tall, extend one leg forwards, and the other leg crosses over. So you're going to have it kind of diagonal this way. And then on that same side, you're going to reach that hand behind you. The opposite arm gets onto the knee, and then you just kind of twist, keeping the core engaged, driving that knee backwards with your arm, and trying to think about pushing your head up. So you want to feel that stretch here, maybe in the low back a little bit, but primarily in the hip. A nice calm breathing. Again, we'll go for about 30 seconds or so. And then gently untwist yourself. Bring that in here. I like to just do a gentle hug. I really let that kind of get back into position. And then I switch my legs. Find that glute tension. And twist. And get that knee engaged. Again, pushing your head nice and upwards. Nice, calm breathing, inhales and exhales. If you want to, you can do some neck stretching in this position. You don't have to. I just find it sometimes kind of nice. And give that one last breath. And then gently untwist yourself. We're going to do 3 more stretches. So this is called an upper spinal floor twist. So you're going to stack your knees together. So your legs are at 90 degrees. So like this, 90, 90. And you come down, keeping them stacked. You're going to try and stack your shoulders vertically. Your bottom hand goes on your knees. And the top hand opens up. And you're going to feel this in the chest, in the upper back, and maybe in your hips a little bit, depending on where you have tightness. The goal is to feel a tension in your pec along that line to your shoulder. And you're just calmly breathing, trying to let your shoulder gently sink down towards the ground while maintaining that feeling of tension in your pec, which is the big chest muscle. You're going to try and also focus on keeping your knees stacked on top of each other. That's what this hand is for. Kind of pull down gently. And then go ahead and bring that hand back over towards your knees, and we're going to switch sides. So again, keeping the knees nice and stacked. Bottom hand goes on the knees, and then we open up, getting that feeling of stretching in the pec. Trying to let shoulder come down gently. Nice calm breathing. I'll go one more breath. And then on your next exhale, you'll bring that hand back over to your knees. And then the last stretch we're going to do is a child's pose. Really try and get the lats and the low back. So you're going to get big toes together and then widen your knees out real far. If you're on a yoga mat, I like to think the outside edge, but you can just go wherever you're comfortable. And then push your hips backwards and reach your arms forwards. So the goal is to try and let your hips sink back so you can really just comfortably relax in this position. And then stretch your arms up so you feel that nice stretch in your lats, in the back, and the hips. Totally right to let your head relax on the ground. Do just a few more deep breaths. And then gently walk your hands back. And there we go. That is the Dryland fitness class done.